Let me ask you something honestly. Why is it becoming harder to sit and focus? Why do we lose patience so quickly? Why does 5 minutes of studying feel heavy, but 30 minutes of scrolling feels easy? Most people call this laziness. But what if it is not laziness? And before we go further, let me say this. If you can't sit through this video fully, your brain is already showing the issue. Now let's understand why. Think about what happens when you open social media. In 15 seconds, someone becomes rich. In 20 seconds, someone transforms their body. In 30 seconds, someone builds a business. Everything looks fast. Success looks quick. Results look instant. Efforts look small. You keep watching this again and again. Slowly your brain begins to expect the same speed in real life. It starts believing success should be quick, progress should be visible immediately, hard work should not take long. But real life doesn't work like that. And that gap creates frustration. So why does your brain prefer the fast version? To understand that, we need to talk about dopamine. Every time you swipe to a new reel, something happens inside your brain. You see something different, a different face, a different story, a different emotion, a different sound. Your brain naturally pays attention to what is new. Because new things feels interesting. This is called novelty. Simply something new or unexpected. Now dopamine comes into play. Dopamine is not just about pleasure. It rises when your brain expects something interesting. Not after you enjoy it, but right before. When you swipe and don't know what will appear next, your brain thinks maybe this will be good. That small expectation increases dopamine. So the pattern becomes simple. Swipe, something new, small dopamine rise. And because short videos never end, this pattern repeats again and again. Over time, your brain becomes comfortable with constant change and fast stimulation. And once that feels normal, slower activity starts feeling less engaging. Now compare this to real work. When you sit to study, nothing changes every few seconds. When you practice a skill, you repeat the same steps. There isn't constant variation. So when your brain that is used to quick change tries to focus on something steady and slow, it feels uncomfortable. Not because the task has no value, but because it doesn't match the speed your brain has become used to. That uncomfortable feeling is what we call distraction. This is where patience starts to weaken. Patience means waiting for results. But if your brain expects quick simulation, waiting feels difficult. Even 10 minutes without checking your phone can feel restless. Silence feels strange. Deep focus feels boring. Not because you are incapable, but because your brain has learned to expect constant input. And real progress requires the opposite. Steady effort without instant reward. There is another important point. Short videos show outcomes. They don't show the process. You see the transformation, you see the money, you see the achievement. But you don't see the years of repetition, the boring practice, the slow improvement, the failures. Your brain keeps watching the highlight version of reality. So when your real journey feels slow, it feels like something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. Slow growth is normal. Fast success usually exists only on screen. So what can you do? You don't need to delete everything, but you need to change how you use it. Start simple. Avoid short videos before important work. Finish one task without switching apps. Reduce unnecessary scrolling. Allow yourself to sit without stimulation sometimes. When you low constant dopamine spikes, your brain slowly adjusts. And when that happens, slow work stops feeling painful. It starts feeling natural again. The world is becoming faster. But real success is still slow. If you can train yourself to stay with slow progress, you gain an advantage. Because most people are not lazy. They are simply overstimulated. And once you understand that, you can choose differently. And stay tuned for more updates.